Welcome. In this video, we're exploring how two personality types may interact in a romantic relationship through the lens of MBTI personality theory. We'll look at the strengths they might naturally bring out in each other, the challenges they may encounter, and the ways they can grow together. Keep in mind that MBTI describes personality preferences, not fixed rules, and it can't predict whether a relationship will succeed or fail. Every person is unique, and every relationship is shaped by far more than personality alone. Think of this as a tool for self-understanding and reflection, rather than absolute truth. With that in mind, let's get started. ENFPs often approach life with a sense of possibility, eagerly exploring new ideas, experiences, and connections that spark their imagination. Guided by extroverted intuition, they naturally see multiple paths forward and enjoy discovering unexpected opportunities wherever they look. Their supporting introverted feeling helps them remain connected to their personal values, encouraging them to pursue relationships and experiences that feel meaningful and authentic. In relationships, they often express affection through curiosity, encouragement, and enthusiastic support for the people they care about. They usually enjoy conversations that wander into dreams, possibilities, and personal growth, creating an atmosphere where ideas can flourish. While they often embrace spontaneity, they also value emotional sincerity and relationships that allow both people to grow as individuals. INFJs often experience life as a search for meaning beneath the surface. Guided by introverted intuition, they naturally look for underlying patterns, future possibilities, and the deeper motivations behind people's words and actions. Their supporting extroverted feeling encourages them to understand emotions and foster meaningful connections, often making them attentive listeners who genuinely want others to feel seen. In relationships, they usually seek emotional depth, mutual growth, and conversations that explore values, dreams, and purpose. They may appear calm and reserved outwardly, while maintaining a rich inner world shaped by reflection and insight. Although they appreciate harmony, they also value authenticity, preferring relationships where both people can be honest, supportive, and committed to growing together over time. After getting to know both personalities individually, the real question becomes what happens when these two perspectives meet in a relationship. An ENFP and an INFJ often notice each other for very different reasons, but the connection they build tends to grow through curiosity, conversation, and a shared interest in understanding people. While they approach the world from different directions, they frequently discover that they are exploring many of the same questions, just through different mental processes. As with any relationship, maturity, communication, and life experience matter far more than personality type alone, but MBTI offers an interesting lens for understanding why this pairing often feels both rewarding and occasionally challenging. Part 1. First Attraction. An ENFP is often drawn to the calm depth that an INFJ projects. The INFJ tends to come across as thoughtful, observant, and quietly insightful. While they may not be the loudest person in the room, they often say things that leave a lasting impression. For an ENFP who enjoys discovering what makes people unique, that quiet complexity can feel like an invitation to keep asking questions. The attraction works in the opposite direction as well. An INFJ often notices the ENFP's enthusiasm, openness, and willingness to engage with almost anyone. Rather than seeming superficial, the ENFP's curiosity often feels genuine. They ask questions because they truly want to understand people, and that sincerity can make the INFJ feel surprisingly comfortable opening up. Early conversations between these two can be unusually engaging. Both personalities often enjoy discussing ideas, possibilities, personal values, relationships, creativity, or future plans. Hours can disappear as they jump from one topic to another, each building on the other's thoughts in different ways. The ENFP's extroverted intuition naturally explores possibilities and alternative perspectives, while the INFJ's introverted intuition looks for deeper meaning and underlying patterns. Instead of competing, these approaches often create conversations that feel both imaginative and meaningful. That doesn't mean everything is effortless from the beginning. The ENFP usually expresses their thoughts as they discover them. Speaking out loud helps them explore ideas, even if they haven't reached a conclusion yet. The INFJ is often more selective, preferring to process internally before sharing something they feel confident about. Early on, the ENFP may wonder why the INFJ sometimes seems difficult to read, while the INFJ may occasionally feel overwhelmed by the ENFP's constantly evolving train of thought. Social energy can also create small misunderstandings. The ENFP often enjoys meeting new people and seeking fresh experiences, while the INFJ usually prefers smaller groups and more intentional interactions. Neither approach is inherently better, but each partner may initially assume the other shares their comfort level until experience proves otherwise. Fortunately, both personalities tend to be interested in understanding people rather than judging them. That curiosity often encourages conversations about these differences instead of allowing them to become immediate sources of conflict. Part 2. Strengths together. One of the greatest strengths of this pairing is how naturally each person expands the other's perspective. The ENFP encourages exploration. They are often excited by new experiences, creative opportunities, and unexpected possibilities. When the INFJ becomes overly focused on a single vision or future outcome, the ENFP gently reminds them that there may be several paths worth considering. The INFJ contributes something equally valuable by providing focus and direction. Rather than chasing every interesting possibility, they often help organize ideas into something meaningful and achievable. The ENFP may generate dozens of exciting possibilities, but the INFJ frequently helps identify which ones are most worth pursuing. Emotionally, both personalities usually place significant value on empathy and authentic connection, although they express it differently. The ENFP's feeling process is guided by introverted feeling, which encourages them to understand their own personal values before responding to others. They often support people by encouraging authenticity and individual expression. The INFJ's feeling process relies on extroverted feeling, which naturally pays attention to the emotional atmosphere between people. They often notice subtle shifts in mood and work to maintain harmony within the relationship. These different approaches can complement each other surprisingly well. The ENFP helps the INFJ stay connected to their own individual wants and feelings, while the INFJ helps the ENFP consider how decisions affect the relationship as a whole. Communication also benefits from their shared interest in personal growth. Neither personality is usually satisfied with surface-level conversations forever. They often enjoy discussing goals, fears, motivations, relationships, and personal development. Over time, this creates opportunities for both partners to feel deeply understood. In everyday life, their strengths often balance each other. The ENFP may introduce spontaneity by suggesting new restaurants, hobbies, trips, or creative projects. They often help keep life feeling fresh and flexible. The INFJ contributes consistency and thoughtful planning. They may naturally consider future consequences, organize important details, and help ensure exciting ideas actually become reality. As teammates, they often work well when each partner respects the role the other naturally plays. The ENFP brings energy, adaptability, and creative problem solving, while the INFJ offers long-term vision, patience, and careful reflection. Of course, these strengths become most noticeable when both individuals appreciate their differences rather than trying to make each other think the same way. Part 3. Biggest Challenges. Many of this pairing's challenges arise from the very qualities that initially attracted them. The ENFP often enjoys keeping options open. Their extroverted intuition naturally explores alternatives and remains comfortable changing direction when something more interesting appears. The INFJ's introverted intuition usually prefers narrowing possibilities into a clear direction. Once they develop confidence in a particular vision, they often invest significant energy into making that vision happen. This difference can create tension during decision-making. The ENFP may feel the INFJ becomes too committed too early, limiting opportunities before they have been fully explored. Meanwhile, the INFJ may feel the ENFP continually revisits decisions that were already settled, making progress feel slower than necessary. Conflict can also develop because they process emotions differently. When the INFJ senses tension, their instinct is often to restore harmony. They may soften criticism, avoid direct confrontation, or carefully choose their words to protect the relationship. The ENFP is usually sincere as well, but because introverted feeling emphasizes personal authenticity, they may express difficult emotions more directly if they believe honesty is important. Ironically, both partners are trying to protect the relationship, yet they may disagree on what that protection looks like. Another challenge involves energy management. The ENFP often gains energy through exploration, novelty, and interacting with the outside world. They may enjoy filling weekends with activities, social events, or spontaneous adventures. The INFJ usually requires more regular opportunities to recharge privately. Even enjoyable social experiences can become exhausting if they happen too frequently. Without clear communication, each partner may unintentionally interpret the other's preferences personally. The ENFP might worry the INFJ is withdrawing emotionally when they simply need quiet time. The INFJ might wonder whether the ENFP is avoiding intimacy when they are simply seeking fresh experiences. Communication style creates another subtle challenge. The ENFP frequently thinks out loud. Ideas develop through conversation, and opinions may evolve as new information appears. The INFJ often prefers internal clarity before speaking. They may remain quiet until they believe they fully understand their own perspective. As a result, the ENFP may mistake thoughtful silence for emotional distance, while the INFJ may occasionally experience the ENFP's rapid stream of ideas as mentally exhausting. Neither communication style is inherently more effective, they simply serve different purposes. Part 4. Making it work. Over time, this relationship often becomes stronger as each partner learns to appreciate the strengths hidden inside the other's differences. The ENFP usually benefits from recognizing that the INFJ's need for reflection is not necessarily hesitation or emotional withdrawal. Giving the INFJ time to think before expecting immediate responses often leads to deeper and more meaningful conversations. The INFJ, meanwhile, often benefits from recognizing that the ENFP's changing ideas do not automatically indicate inconsistency or lack of commitment. Exploring possibilities is often part of how the ENFP eventually discovers what matters most. Both partners also benefit from openly discussing social expectations instead of assuming shared preferences. Planning some adventures while protecting regular quiet time allows each person's energy needs to be respected. Small compromises made consistently often prevent larger frustrations from developing later. Trust also grows when both partners become comfortable communicating their needs directly. The ENFP may need reassurance that occasional solitude does not reflect fading affection. The INFJ may need reassurance that the ENFP's enthusiasm for new experiences does not mean they are becoming less invested in the relationship. This pairing often thrives in environments where both people continue learning, creating, and growing together. Shared creative hobbies, meaningful conversations, collaborative projects, travel, or opportunities for personal development often keep the relationship feeling engaging for both personalities. It may struggle more when outside stress leaves little room for communication, or when either partner assumes the other should naturally understand unspoken expectations. Because both personalities care deeply about emotional connection, misunderstandings that remain unaddressed can quietly grow over time. Fortunately, both types are often willing to examine themselves as well as the relationship. That willingness to reflect can become one of the greatest long-term strengths they share. In conclusion, an ENFP and an INFJ often build a relationship around curiosity, emotional depth, and a genuine desire to understand one another. Their different approaches to ideas, emotions, and decision-making create opportunities for both growth and occasional misunderstanding, but those same differences can also become complementary strengths when approached with patience and mutual respect. Like every MBTI pairing, this relationship is shaped by far more than personality type alone. Individual maturity, communication skills, shared values, and life experience all play a significant role in determining how successful the relationship becomes. MBTI doesn't predict compatibility, but it can help explain why certain patterns appear and where each partner has opportunities to better understand the other. When both people appreciate that they don't need to think alike to work well together, an ENFP and an INFJ can build a relationship that remains both intellectually engaging and emotionally meaningful for many years.